This video will cover how to get analog synth tones with a DX7. Before I get started, I'll mention that I got this Kurzweil 1000px Plus about a month ago, and it must be about the most unrated rompler in the world. This is the rack version of the K1000. For years, I assumed the K1000 was just a digital piano with a standard set of samples. They only sell for about $250. Out of curiosity, I looked for its owner's manual and discovered that it's like a digital modular synth. Yeah, I got both this PX and HX, and this is the horn expander in the same deal. And I used it for the introduction. This is the bass patch that I used for the intro. And I did have to layer it with a synth wave because it had a great bright tone, but to make it sound more mellow like in a real bass, I had to do a little work with it. Yeah, so this has really inspired me. I mean, I had a Korgam 1 years ago and I sold it because of the limitations. I'll have a bank of patches for the PX and the K1000 by next year. Last week, I showed this list of modular settings for different sounds. A setting of 1 can be used for a saw wave, and a setting of 2 for a square wave. I'll use the mono synth patch from the Alter Matrix bank for the demonstration. So you go into Edit, Oscillator. Operator 6 acts as a modulator with a ratio of 2, which is ideal for a square wave tone. This patch actually was inspired by the Rush song, The Trees. To get a saw-like tone, you just bring down the modulator to 1. And saw waves are more ideal for doing like string sounds and brass. I'll bring the frequency back up to 2. I'm using the TX802 because this display is easier to see than on the DX7. Of course, what I'm showing can be used with other FM synths like the TX81Z. Now, this is very important. In order to get a bright tone, you need to make sure that the feedback is set all the way up to 7. By bringing it down, this is the way it sounds with 7, just down to 6. It's not as bright. So in order for it to really sound like a vintage analog synth, it has to be set up to 7 to get that brighter tone. Unfortunately, the DX7 only has one feedback loop for a patch. The SY77 and SY99 have the advantage of having several feedback loops for a patch, which makes them more ideal for analog emulations. The lead that was inspired by the Rush song uses algorithm 22. I'm using 3 carriers with 1 modulator. Operators 1 and 2 are not used in the patch. For the Burning Axe lead that I played in the introduction, I used algorithm 1. This algorithm will cause operators 4 and 5 to be modulators above operator 3, which will remain a carrier. So I'll go into change it to algorithm 1. But if I play it, now it's going to sound too bright. I mean, some might like that, but it's too much overdrive because the output levels are too loud for operators 4 and 5. So I can go into here and bring 4 down, something like 65. And then 5, I think it's something like 79. So now if I play it, it's better. And then I could detune the operators a little. So yeah, 3 is acting as the main carrier. I'm not using 1 and 2. You don't really need all those operators for it to work. Bring that down a little. Detune that a little more. Let's see what I got. Yeah, now you got a lead that would make Rick Wakeman happy.